What we're going to do now is we're going to mark out our draw. Now, to figure out first, we just need to figure out how big our draw front is. So your draw front is going to go from here to just under that top rail. I'm going to orbit this around the back to be able to measure it the best. So we go inspect and click on those two, and we see that measurement right there is 121. I'm just going to click on inspect again, and I want to see how far that is from the edge. Inspect to this edge. That's 19 mils. So what I'm going to do, open a new design, create sketch. So we know it needs to be 121. Now we just need to see how long it needs to be. So it needs to be 310. So 310 by 121. We're going to extrude that so it's 19 mils. Go enter. Like so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to mark out your dovetails. So create a new sketch and click on an edge. I'm just going to flip that around. So I've got it like so. What we're going to do now is I'm going to turn some construction lines on. And we're going to do a line from this edge here, and it's going to be 12.7. The reason it's going to be 12.7 is because this is the depth of the cutting bit for the dovetail. And then I'm going to do that line all the way to the top. So see how you've got the yellow, there's a yellow square there, that means it's a 90 degree. From this top here, we're going to do 19 mils. Actually, we won't do the top one, we'll do the bottom one first, be a little bit easier. 19 mils up, 19, enter, and do a line across, like so. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do a combination between construction lines and non-construction lines. So the first one I'm going to do 12.5 mils up, and this is going to be a construction line. And I'm going to do 10 mils up from this side. Choose my line tool again. This one's going to be 10 mils. This line's going to be 15. Well, I didn't mean to do that line. So from here, it needs to be 15. Enter. Now, turn the construction lines off. We choose our line tool, making sure that we're on there. And we're just going to box this out. So wherever we've done our little dots, we're going to go to. Turn the construction lines back on. Now this line here is going to be 15. This line here is going to be 10. This line's going to be 15. This line's going to be 10. Turn the construction lines back off, and we're going to box this out just like we did with our other one. Now our last one, turn the construction lines back on. So we're only doing 3 dovetails for this. This one's going to be 10 mils up. This one's going to be 15 mils up. This one's going to be 15 mils up. This one's going to be 10 mils up. Turn the construction lines off. And we're just going to box this away. And we go finish sketch. We've got 3 boxes there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, holding that shift tool. We're going to extrude those, and it's going to be -19. So that minus is going to go in there like so, and we go enter. So that's where the dovetails are going to sit. What I want to do now is, I'm going to rotate this around, create sketch. Now, see how it flipped that way? I want to flip it back, because that'll mean that I'm doing them from the bottom again, from the same edge. Okay, see what I did? So create sketch, look which way it flips. and then go over here to the arrows, and I want to flip it back. Choose my line tool, and now from this side, I'm doing my 12.7 coming from here. And do my other 12.7 line, making sure those construction lines are up. All the way to the top, notice that little 90-degree angle at the top. We go like so. From our bottom, we go 19 mils up. Do my line across again, and we'll start again. From here, I go 12.5. From here, I go 10. Choose my line tool again, making sure those construction lines are on. This gap's going to be 10 now. This gap's going to be 15. Turn my construction lines off. Connect the dots. Turn the construction lines back on. This is going to be 15. This is going to be 10. This is going to be 15. This is going to be 10. Turn the construction lines off. Connect the dots. Now turn the construction back on for the last ones. So this is going to be 15. This is going to be 10. This is going to be 15. And this is going to be 10. Turn the construction lines off. I'm going to connect the dots with the line tool. Finish sketch. We've got our 3 little pockets again. Select them all holding the shift tool. Extrude, -1.9. Enter. Okay. So we've just done our front panel. Now what I'd like for you to do now is, from our front panel, what we're going to have is, we're going to have a little groove down here for our drawer to sit in. So what we're going to be doing is, I want to create a tool, go down the bottom, and from this line here, it's going to be 2.5 mils. Just from that line there, it's making sure your construction lines are on. We go to our 2-point rectangle, making sure they're off there. Go to that little one down here, all the way across. It's going to be 5 mils wide. We go enter, because this is a little housing joint for our drawer base to sit in. And we're going to go -5, so extrude -5. I save this as drawer front, save. Now, what I'm going to start doing is my drawer sides. So to figure out how big my drawer side should be, I'm going to go inspect, go from the front of the rail to the back. That's 356. Now, just because we added, when we were doing our drawer front, our groove from there to there, we did a 12.7 mil line. So therefore, on this 356, we're going to have to add 12.7 because that's the length of our dovetail. So we do 12.7 plus 356, and that's going to basically equal 368.7. So I'm going to go New Design, Create Sketch, 2-point rectangle, and this is going to be 368.7 long. And basically when I'm looking at my height, I go here. And when I go to my height, if I rotate and I look at my internal height, and that's 102. Now, I want it to be a little bit smaller so the drawer can run freely, so I'm going to make it 90. So if I go back here, so 368.7, and it's going to be 90 mils high. I still want to keep the thickness of my drawer. So my drawer thickness is going to be 19 mils. And what I want to do now is I want to mark out my dovetails here. So the way I have to do that, turn on my 2-point rectangle, turn on construction steps. From this edge down, so it's 90 mils down, but it's 12.7 because that's the length of our cutting bit. And we're going to have to start doing our dovetails now. So we're going to switch it up. So this is going to be 10. My internal one's going to be 12.5 to start. External is going to be 15. Sketch panel. Up. It needs to be on the line, so I'm going to show you. So you can't just press enter. Follows the line there. This one's 15 mils up. This one's 10 mils up. That's 15 mils. Now turn the construction lines off. We're going to connect those dots. Connect the dots there. Connect the dots there. And then I want to do a line in between. Turn the construction lines off. We turn them on there. This is 10. This is 15. Now this is 15. This is 10. Turn the construction lines off. We're going to connect the dots here. Just the outside ones. Like so. Connect those. Now we're going to connect this up here. I'll show you why. So if we have a look on that one, and those are all combined. So we click in all the middle ones. Extrude. -19. We go enter. What we're going to do now is I'm going to do create sketch. And I'm going to put a groove here where the housing joint's going to go. So I'm going to show you where the housing joint's going to go. I'm going to choose the line tool. I'm going to put construction lines on. And from this groove down here, right at the bottom, I want to do 5 mils up with construction lines on. Turn the construction lines off. I'm going to zoom out, pan across so I can see my job properly. 2-point rectangle, not from the bottom one, but from the 5 mils up one, all the way across. All the way across to here. So 3, 5, 6, and it's only going to be 5 mils up. So to get the other one, I go tab. I'm going to finish my sketch, zoom in, and I go minus. It's going to extrude it to -5. I'm going to save this as draw left, draw side, enter. Now I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to put the groove on the other side. So I'm going to do create sketch, 2-point rectangle, 90 mils high, 3, 6, 8.7 long, enter, and extrude it by 19. Create sketch on top, 2-point rectangle, make sure those construction lines are on. All the way down to here, 12.7 mils wide, enter. Line tool, 10 mils up on the outside, and this one's going to be 12.5, 15, it's going to be 10, make sure it's on the line. Construction lines, let's turn them off now. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. Turn the construction lines off. 10, 15. I'm going to connect it. $15. $15. Turn the construction lines off. Let's connect the dots. Turn the construction lines back on. This one's going to be 10. This one's going to be 15. This one's going to be 15. This one's going to be 10. Turn the construction lines off and let's connect the dots. Down here. All the way to the top. Finish sketch. We have a look. Extrude minus 1.9. Now, because we did the line on this side last time, I'm going to flip it over and I want to do it on this side. We've actually flipped the job, so we're going to do the line up here, up the top. Do the exact same thing that we did with our last one. Construction lines, we're going to turn those on. The line here, 5 mils down, 2-point rectangle, turn the construction lines off, all the way to the ends, 5 mils wide, enter, finish our sketch. That's going to extrude this, so -5 internally. And if we have a look, we've done that successfully. Save as right draw side, enter. Now what we're going to have to do, we open a new design, go save, and we're going to save this as completed draw. We're going to open our show tab tool. I'm going to put in my insert draw front in the current design. We go to our 90 degree, I'm going to rotate it around. And also remember, we go enter, and I'm just going to ground that to make it easier. I'm going to do my right side first, so I'm going to insert that in. And then we go here. We go enter. Now the easiest way to join these is click on this right here, holding shift, click on here and go join. We entered those. Now my other one, I'm going to go left, right click, insert. Roll it over. Enter. I'm going to orbit our tool around. Click on that line, holding shift, click on that line, we go assemble, enter. What we want to do now is we're going to do our draw back. So the way we figure out how big our draw back should be, we're going to go inspect, we're going to mark out the internals, and have a look, it's 272. I'm going to go create sketch, .272, that's going to be 90 high. Finish my sketch, extrude it, 19. Now remember, we've got to put our groove in there, so we're going to go create sketch, making sure our line tool's on, our construction lines, 5 mils up. Turn the construction lines off now, 2-point rectangle. From here all the way to the end, 5 mils high, we go enter, -5. So the groove goes in. I'm going to save this as draw back. Insert into current design. All the way to the back. Now the best way to do this, click on the back and hold shift. I'm going to click on this one here. Now if we have a look, if I go enter, we can see that there's a big lip there. So to see what we can do here, I'm going to click on my inspect tool and see how big that gap is. So it's 5 mils. Exit, I'm just going to do Control Z. And if I do this again, I'm going to go click on this, holding shift, click here, we go assemble, join, and these arrows allow for me to move that in and out. If I do this one up and down, I can go -5, and then that'll fit in there perfectly. What I want to do now is I want to figure out how big my base should be. So each one of the grooves is 5, so I'm going to find out my cross sections. That's 272 plus 5 plus 5, so that's 272 plus our 10 because it's 5 and 5, so that's 282. Now I want to figure out how far it's going lengthways. 337 plus 5 and 5, so that's 347. So 337 plus 10, so that's 347. Just going to double check this one. Okay, 347 and 282. I'm going to create sketch. 347, 282, enter. We're going to make this 5 mils high. Save as draw base. Right click, insert into current design. Now the best way to do my base, the base can be a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate my dry base around. Click on the blue. I'm going to rotate in, holding shift. So I click both. So zoom out, just making sure that they're both done. Go join. Or go enter. I'm going to save this now. And I'm just going to go back to my completed bedside table. Move it around. Insert into current design. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to select my back, orbit around, shift, select my back here, orbit around, I'm going to assemble. So what we need to do, as we can see, there's a bit of an overlap there. So I'm just going to mark out my overlap, see how wide it is. So it's 8 mils. So if what I can do, I can right click on this because this is the joint, and I've got my arrows there again, and I'm going to go 8. That's going to push it down a little bit. We go enter. So we have a look, and it's made it even worse. So if I go back again, go edit, clicking down, and it should have been -8 instead of 8. I go enter, and we have a look, and that's perfect. What I can also do, if I want to display my job, so say if I want my job to come out a little bit, I can pull on that like so, and I can have my job sitting out. So we went the wrong way there, so I'm going to go click on this again, and I'm going to go like so, 100, and it's going to sit out like that, and save.